I'm back behind the bar, and today I'm making 7 bourbon whiskey cocktails utilizing 1 bottle of whiskey. There's only 9 other ingredients, including lemon juice, lime juice, cucumber, honey syrup, mint, to name a few of them. They're readily available ingredients, so you can easily find them at your local supermarket. But before we get started on the drinks, what bottle of bourbon should you buy? Personally, I love using Buffalo Trace. I think it's an excellent whiskey to use in cocktails. It's very mixable. By the way, this is not a sponsored video. Other options that are inexpensive, you've got Old Grandad, Wild Turkey 101, Four Roses, just to name a few of them. So a couple of details about bourbon whiskey. First, it needs to be American made. The mash bill needs to contain 51% or more of corn, and the spirit needs to be matured in new American oak charred barrels. And it also has to be bottled at 80 proof or more. The first cocktail I'm going to make is by Sam Ross, the Kentucky MAID. He made this one in 2005, and it's a riff on his other cocktail, the London MAID, which actually uses a gin base. So I want to start off with a few mint leaves, throw that in the bottom of the tin, 2 slices on top of the mint, and then gently muddled. Start by adding 2 ounces of whiskey. One ounce of fresh lime, 3/4 ounce of simple syrup, add ice and shake. And it's garnished with a mint sprig spiked into a cucumber slice. To tell you the truth, this is the first time I've had the Kentucky MAID. I've had a London MAID, so the gin-based one. I think I might prefer this one. Cocktail number 2, the mint julep. So the original julep was actually based with rum or French brandy, and it was created in 1770. But like most cocktails, it evolved over time, and bourbon whiskey ended up being the spirit of choice. In 1938, it became the Kentucky Derby's official drink. Start by picking 8 mint leaves and add that into a julep tin. Of course, if you don't have a julep tin, you can use an old-fashioned glass if you like. So there's 4. 8 big fresh mint leaves, and follow that up with 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Now gently press the leaves and don't overwork it. Then add 2.5 ounces of whiskey. That was a little bit shy there. Now half fill with crushed or pebble ice. And stir the drink until the julep cup starts to frost. Then top it up with more ice. And garnish with a freshly spanked piece of mint. There you have a mint julep. Cheers. So this is obviously a stronger drink because it's literally just whiskey, water, sugar, and mint. But the fresh mint brings the whiskey from a warming winter-style drink into summer. Cocktail number 3 is the Brown Derby, a 3-ingredient cocktail using bourbon, grapefruit juice, and honey syrup. This one was created at the Vendome Club back in the 1930s. Start with 2 ounces of whiskey, followed by 1 ounce of white grapefruit juice, and 3/4 ounce of honey syrup. Add ice and shake. And it's double strained into a chilled coupe. There you have the Brown Derby. Cheers. The honey's definitely at the forefront on this one. I am using a 3:1 syrup, so if you'd prefer, you could lower that down to a 2:1 ratio. But the bitterness of the grapefruit doesn't really come through. It's really well balanced, this drink. I wrote a cocktail book. I only received my author copy about a week or two ago. Steve the Bartender's Cocktail Guide, I'll obviously leave a link to it in the description below as well. For all 125 cocktail recipes that are featured in this book, you have a little QR code that you can scan with your mobile phone, and it will take you right to a short video showing you step by step how to make that drink. On to cocktail number 4, the Gold Rush. Now this was one of the very first truly successful cocktails that came from the Milk and Honey team. Jim Meehan tried it on one of his first visits to Milk and Honey in 2003 and said it fundamentally changed the way he looked at cocktails. This one starts with 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey, ¾ ounce of fresh lemon juice, and ¾ ounce of honey syrup. Add ice and shake to your heart's content. Old-fashioned glass with ice and strain over the top. Garnished with a twist of lemon, and there you have a Gold Rush. Cheers. Whiskey and honey goes brilliantly together. And I can understand exactly why Jim Meehan said this fundamentally changed the way he looked at cocktails. How 3 ingredients can come together and make an incredible and delicious drink. Number 5, the Whiskey Smash. Now the Whiskey Smash evolved from the family of julep cocktails, but this particular version is the modern version created by Dale DeGroff. Start by adding 3 or 4 mint leaves into your tin. Then add half a lemon that's been quartered. You can also use lemon juice if you like, but you're not going to get the essential oils from the lemon peel. Gently press, extract the oils and the juice, and obviously the aromatics from that fresh mint. And then add 2 ounces of whiskey. Then ¾ ounce of simple syrup, and shake with ice. Now double strain over fresh ice into an old-fashioned glass. And if you like any of the glassware that I've used today, make sure you check out the links in the description below. Lemon wedge and a mint sprig. There you have Dale DeGroff's modern version of a whiskey smash. Whiskey cocktails are just great. Citrusy, fresh, minty. Another great drink. Next, the whiskey sour. This cocktail was created in the mid-1800s and is still very, very popular until this date. Now, technically, it's called a Boston sour if you use egg white. I'm gonna use egg white today because I really like the texture. First ingredient is 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey, then ¾ ounce of simple syrup, and ¾ ounce of lemon juice. Half an egg white, and to be honest with you, I forgot to dry shake, so now I'm going to reverse dry shake. I know I've still got some ice shards in the shaker, so I'm going to double strain. And today I thought I'd serve it up. I'd say I've only ever had a whiskey sour served up once before, so let's do it. There you have a whiskey sour. Technically a Boston sour because it's got the egg white, but hey, served up. Cheers. Beautiful texture, beautifully balanced. The whiskey just, it's velvety, it just flows over your tongue. There's a reason why this drink has been so popular for over 150 years. It's a great drink. And I'm going to round out today's cocktails with the most famous of classic cocktails, the Old Fashioned. So before it was called the Old Fashioned, it was actually referred to as cocktail. Now when we use the term cocktail, it just refers to all mixed drinks. But originally it was defined in 1806 as a mixed drink including spirit, sugar, bitters, and water. Now the drink started to change over time and bartenders started adding curacao, maraschino, dashes of absinthe into the drink. So when people ordered it at a bar and they asked for cocktail, they didn't know exactly what they were going to get. So people started to ask for the cocktail in the old-fashioned way. And then by the year 1880, that term was shortened to old-fashioned and defined in print. Add 2 ounces of whiskey into a pre-chilled mixing glass. And a bar spoon of your preferred sweetener. In my case, simple syrup. You could use a rich syrup, Demerara syrup, completely up to you. 2 to 3 dashes of Angostura bitters. Then add plenty of ice to your mixing glass. And then stir for 15 to 30 seconds. Now this is a cocktail that's served on the rocks, or in this case, on a single rock. So I stir it for a little bit less than usual, or at least compared to stirred drinks like Manhattans. Then strain over the top. Garnish with a twist of orange or lemon. Typically lemon works quite well with rye whiskey, and orange works well with bourbon. So I'm going to do orange, but if you like, you can do both. There you have an old fashioned. Cheers. Impeccable. Whiskey forward, very aromatic. You get those bitters, you get a little bit of like Christmas spice and clove, nutmeg from the Angostura. Delicious whiskey cocktail. And the hero is the whiskey because there's minimal introduction of other ingredients, a little bit of sugar and a little bit of bitters. If you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more whiskey cocktails, then I highly recommend checking out this one here where I compare the 3 best whiskey sour recipes by some of America's top bartenders.